Hello, and welcome to this journey through some of Scripture's boldest moments. From warriors charging into battle to ordinary people making extraordinary choices. Stick around for the summarizing song at the end, but say konnichiwa to courage. Question 1. What act of courage did Joshua need to perform as he took leadership after Moses? Was he to conquer Babylon, enter the promised land and lead Israel in battle, rewrite the law, or build the temple? And he needed strength to enter the promised land, according to Joshua chapter 1. God repeatedly commands Joshua to be strong and courageous as he leads Israel into Canaan. Question 2. What gave David his confident courage against Goliath? Was it his shepherd's training, Saul's armor, trust in God's deliverance, or fame? And the answer is trust in God's deliverance, as read in 1 Samuel chapter 17. David's courage is rooted in faith that the battle belongs to the Lord. Question 3. What courageous decision did Esther make? Was it that she destroyed idols? She approached the king uninvited to save her people? She led Israel's armies? Or she rebuked Haman publicly? And Esther approached the king uninvited in Esther chapter 4. Approaching the king without invitation risked death, yet she did it for Israel's sake. Question 4. How did Daniel show courage under pressure? Did he fight lions, refuse the king's food, continue to pray despite the royal decree, or confront Nebuchadnezzar publicly? And Daniel continued to pray to God despite the royal decree in Daniel chapter 6. And keeping praying meant facing the lion's den. Question 5. What courageous confession did Peter and John make before the Sanhedrin? Was it that the council was wicked? That they were more informed than the council? The council could not perform miracles, or they could not obey human authority? And the answer was that they couldn't obey humans, according to Acts chapter 4. The apostles boldly declare they must obey God rather than men. Question 6. Why did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refuse to bow to Nebuchadnezzar's statue? Was it because they hoped to escape? They were stubborn. They trusted God even if he did not rescue them, or they expected Daniel to intervene. And according to Daniel chapter 3, they trusted God, even if he wasn't going to rescue them. Their courage included accepting possible death rather than worshipping idols. Question 7. What did Paul ask the Ephesians to pray for regarding courage? Was it boldness to accept death? To go alone? Boldness to proclaim the gospel? Or to accept criticism? And he asked them to pray for boldness to proclaim the gospel, as read in Ephesians chapter 6. Even as a prisoner, Paul sought courage to speak fearlessly. Question 8. What courageous act did Jonathan perform against the Philistines? Did he confront Goliath? Did he lead a surprise attack with only his armor-bearer? Did he escape alone? Or did he sneak in and destroy their idols? And Jonathan led a surprise attack in 1 Samuel chapter 14. Jonathan believed that God could save by many or by few. Question 9. Who displayed courage by attacking his father's idol at night? Was that Joash, Gideon, Manasseh, or Asherah? And that was Gideon in Judges chapter 6. Gideon obeys God, though he acts at night due to fear, showing courage despite weakness. Question 10. How did Abigail act courageously when David planned to destroy Nabal's household? Did she hide the family in a cave? Did she flee to another land? Did she ride out alone to meet David? Or did she challenge David to battle? And in 1 Samuel chapter 25, she rode out alone to meet David and prevent the bloodshed. Abigail's bold intervention prevented violence by personally confronting David, a risky act that required quick judgment and bravery. Question 11. How did Nehemiah show courage while rebuilding Jerusalem's walls? Did he ignore threats from the enemies, arm the builders and keep working, refused to work, or accepted defeat? And in Nehemiah chapter 4, Nehemiah armed the builders and kept on working. Facing hostility, he balances prayer and practical defense. Question 12. What bold action did Peter take immediately after healing the lame man at the temple? Did he walk out in a thunderstorm, preach publicly, attend a meeting of Pharisees, or leave the city in a procession? And Peter preached publicly in Acts chapter 3 and Acts chapter 4. Knowing the authorities were watching, Peter boldly proclaimed Christ to the gathered crowd after his public miracle. Question 13. In what profession did Shiphrah and Puah take a courageous stance? Was it as midwives, maidservants, concubines, or cooks? And they were midwives in Exodus chapter 1. Their reverence for God empowered them to defy a tyrant. Question 14. What expression of courage did the woman with the issue of blood show? Did she debate with Pharisees, publicly rebuke the crowd, reach out to touch Jesus despite social rejection, or hide from everyone? And the woman reached out to touch Jesus in Mark chapter 5. Approaching Jesus in her condition risked shame, but she acted in faith. And question 15. At 85 years old, who courageously asked to settle in the hill country still inhabited by giants? Was that Caleb, Othniel, Joshua, or Ehud? And that was Caleb in Joshua chapter 14. At 85, Caleb courageously asked for the most difficult territory, mountainous land still occupied by formidable Anakim warriors, showing remarkable resolve and bravery. So, great job! The courage quiz is behind you. But, bravely or foolishly, I turned the research into a song just for you. So let's see if you're feeling courageous enough to turn the volume up and sing along. And let me know if you want more themed songs to push you through the week. Until next time, goodbye and God bless.
Joshua stood on the edge of the land. Moses gone, but the promise still stands. God said, be strong, I'm with you still. Walk forward in faith, step into my will. Daniel prayed when the law said no, facing lions, but refusing bow low. In the shadows of fear, he knelt to pray, courage rising as the night gave way. Be strong, take heart, the Lord is near. When the battle roars, he calms our fear. Stand firm in faith, though the night is long. His presence is our courage, his joy our song. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood tall, saying even if he doesn't save, we won't fall. The fire raged, but God was in the flame, courage born from honoring his name. Esther stepped in with trembling breath, risking her life to save her people from death. If I perish, I perish, she chose to say. Courage whispers truth when fear's in the way. Be strong, take heart, the Lord is near. When the battle roars, he calms our fear. Stand firm in faith, though the night is long. His presence is our courage, his joy our song. Paul in chains prayed for boldness to speak, not for escape but strength in the weak. The church cried out, Lord, help us stand, for courage is born from a sovereign hand. Jonathan climbed with an armor bearer near, saying by many or few the Lord can deliver here. A heart that trusts what God can do turns trembling steps into courage renewed. When fear surrounds and shadows fall, the Lord is our light, the strength of all. The righteous live by faith, not sight. Courage grows in the darkest night. We approach his throne with confidence strong. In his perfect love we still belong. Be strong, take heart, the Lord is near. When the battle roars, he calms our fear. Stand firm in faith, though the night is long. His presence is our courage,